Thank you all for coming out. I'd like to share with everyone a story. Story that takes place in one of the Jewish communities, and it revolves around a boy that's 10 years old. This boy he's a shtickl cheverman. And in this community, there's a store, maybe you're familiar, it's called ShopRite. Have you ever heard of the store ShopRite? Yes. There's a store ShopRite, and on occasions, this store ShopRite has Tropicana orange juice for sale. Tropicana oranges. It happens to be that this was an amazing sale, that a half a gallon of Tropicana orange juice was for sale for $1. But there was a limit of one per customer. Okay. So what do you do if you're a 10-year-old Jewish boy and you like Tropicana orange juice? So you walk into the store, you pick out a half a gallon, you come to the cashier, you give him $1, you walk out, and you put it into the car, and you go back in. And you go out, and you put it in, and you do it as many times as you can. And all of a sudden, the manager catches on, there's this boy coming in, getting an orange juice, going out, paying, coming back in, getting orange juice, coming out. And the manager realizes that, 1 second, this is not what it's meant for. And he watches the boy, and as he exits, he says, "Excuse me, can I have a word with you?" He says, "Sure." He says, "Shalom Aleichem, my name is Yossi." Oh, Yossi. How can I help you? What's the matter? He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm buying orange juice." Duh. He says, "Well, you just bought orange juice before." He says, "Yeah, and I'm buying it again." "Well, this is a special for customers. It's like an incentive. You can't just go in and out. I want you to stop doing that." He says, "Absolutely not." He says, "Why? What gives you the right to just come back in, forth, back and in and out and get as many oranges as you want?" He says, "Well, I have a letter from the CEO of ShopRite." "You do?" The manager is looking at him, he's laughing. He says, "You have a letter from the CEO?" "Yeah, it's an approved letter from the CEO of ShopRite that says I can do what I'm doing." "Let me see that letter." He says, "Sure." He sticks his hand in his pocket, pulls out the receipt. It says on it ShopRite, and he says, "Look at it. It says, 'Thank you, come again.'" And I am. You know, we hear a story like this, and guess what? He came in again and again and again and again. I think the manager at some point had just give him a case and say, "Do me a favor, go home." So we get what we call nachas. We get proud when we hear such a story. We get proud when we hear the wit. But how do we know? How do we know if Hashem is proud of us? How do we know if we're doing the right thing? I want to share with you an insight from the beginning of time, from creation. Adam and Eve, they were in the Garden of Eden. And all of a sudden, they ate from the forbidden fruit. And they were expelled. Are you kidding me? How many times I stole dessert from my mother, and yeah, she threw me out of the kitchen, but I was not out of the house. Is that all? They ate dessert before it was permissible? They had a fruit. It was on a tree. Looked good. Crunch, apple. That's it. See, if you look a little deeper, there's a dialogue that takes place afterwards. It gives us insight to what was the real issue. God approaches Adam and says, "Hey, what's going on?" "Well, why are you hiding?" "Well, I'm a little embarrassed." "Embarrassed? Why?" He says, "Well, she told me to do it." Pointing fingers. "And she said the snake did." And everybody pointed in different directions. And nobody took responsibility. The sin of Adam was a lack of taking responsibility. Later in history, King Saul had to go to war with Amalek, and he failed in that battle. And instead of apologizing, he didn't take responsibility. King David, who is the father of the Messiah, when he messed up, he took responsibility. Tonight we are gathered with the most magnificent people here. People that care, people that take responsibility. When we talk about the Messiah, it's one word, responsibility. You are all living the reality of the Messiah. Because you take responsibility, you care. There's teams of people here. There are parents that don't hide. They deal with issues. They take responsibility. "40 years ago, Rabbi Meir Wertheimer initiated and took responsibility. Rabbi Wertheimer. He has a son today that joined a team of people that take responsibility with passion, love, caring, nurturing. A fantastic leader. But the definition of a leader is he cares and takes responsibility. It's not 9 to 5. It's until the job is done. Hamaspik of Kings County, part of the greater organization of Hamaspik, is the voice of the voiceless. That's who you are. Be proud of yourselves. It's a leader in innovation for special needs. You know why you can be innovators? Because you care. And when you see something wrong, you figure out how to do it better. Hamaspik of Kings County, a night of Chizik, 2,000 special needs. It's an amazing accomplishment. Part of the greater Hamaspik of 12,000, so much so that the governor gives it special recognition as the leader, again, leader, and the example of how special needs to be taken care of. I'm going to take a moment and invite a very special lady, Mrs. Julie Bergman. A very strong advocate, a mother, and a member of the team of leaders, to please share with us some words. Thank you very much.